Hi there, and good afternoon. I'm John.
I'm Zen. And I'm Julie.
We're with C Nation, and you are tuned in to the 50 Days of Cannabis podcast, where we examine the cannabis laws in each of the 50 states.
Oh, hold on, John, you missed one.
I did. The District of Columbia is also included in this. We just thought 50 days sounded a little better than 51. Today we're looking at the cannabis laws in Oklahoma. The Sooner State was once home to the harshest cannabis laws in the nation, but some reforms took place in early 2017 that dramatically changed this equation, at least for possession. However, cultivation and distribution are still serious business where any amount can mean spending your life behind bars. No offense to cannabis users in Oklahoma, but the sooner you be leaving, the sooner you be safer. You're informed. Zen, tell us about possession in the Sooner State.
All right. Any amount on their first offense is a misdemeanor.
That's not bad.
You get a year and $1,000. Possible conditional release. Any amount your subsequent offenses, misdemeanor, 1 year, $1,000.
Still not bad. That's
Beats Maryland hands down. It was
Word.
50 pounds.
50 pounds.
All right. The Sooner State passed a medical CBD law in 2015 allowing for the use of cannabis extracts that are high in CBD and low in THC for any medical condition for which a physician recommends it. There are no dispensaries though, so good luck finding it.
Yeah, one of these just watered down CBD laws that they're really pointless because you can't get it anywhere in the state, which means...
And it has to be a super specific percentage.
Yeah, and a lot are. I mean, it's not going to be hard for them to find that particular recipe, let's say, but these are just aggravating. We've got the same issue in our state. They give this law that really is just designed to shut people up for 5 minutes. But it might as well not be a law. The only saving grace to any law like this is law enforcement isn't really supposed to probe you. Where did you get it? Why even have the law then? I mean, if you can have it, but you can't get it anywhere in the state, which means you have to get it somewhere else, which means you have to cross state lines or someone's mailing.
Which makes it a federal offense.
Absolutely. Why even have a law in their books that says, oh, you can have it and we won't ask you where you got it from? How about just don't ask me where I got it from
or
and screw your silly law.
Or have some dispensaries. If you have laws allowing for CBD, then have a dispensary where you can get it.
So aggravating. I mean, I still want to say props to Oklahoma for coming off at least their possession charges. It was, at one time, no joke, a potential life sentence in Oklahoma for possession of any amount of cannabis. Absolutely ridiculous. So props on that, and props for at least doing something medically, but man, it's the bare minimum, so that props was the bare minimum too. Jules, tell us about them growers and sellers, because there's a different story than possession, right?
If you're these people, just leave. Just leave this state. Don't even go to them. So the sale or distribution of any amount of cannabis in Oklahoma is obviously a felony. That will give you between 2 years and life in prison without possible of parole. Jeez. With fines ranging $20,000 to $500,000.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the growers. The cultivation of any number of cannabis plants in Oklahoma, of course, is a felony. The state uses its sales and distribution guidelines for its punishment. So if you have a plant, you're selling any, just look, you're not getting out of prison for a long, ever, maybe possible never. So this is where we get kind of more serious. Is this where we're going to go?
So yeah, time for school zones and a school zone chat in Oklahoma. You know, before I get into it, I just want to say this is an area that they could have included in their cannabis reforms, particularly the possession part of this. We don't get too crazy about what they want to hang on people as far as, you know, particularly selling in school zones. But possession in a school zone is a really different thing. Particularly, it's just in your pocket, it's just in your car, you're just traveling through, you're not bothering a soul. If it's a misdemeanor outside of a school zone, it probably ought to be a misdemeanor inside the school zone in conditions like that too. In a lot of states we see that. It's not even possession's not even a school zone offense. But in the state of Oklahoma, possession of marijuana within 1,000 feet of a public or private school or university, a public park, or in the presence of a child under the age of 12 is a felony. And it's very serious. A judge can decide to double the term of imprisonment, double the fine, or both. Regardless, half of that sentence is mandatory. He gives you a 10-year note for this thing. That's 5 years down for sure. So pretty serious for just possession in a school zone, and we're not super thrilled with that. But
still be an adult.
Fair enough. The sale or distribution in a school zone, they expand that from 1,000 feet to 2,000 feet. We're talking almost half a mile.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a little farther than a half a mile from the elementary school in our neighborhood, but not too much. I mean, just across the street, and I'm probably within that 2,000 feet. So that's big.
A pretty big circle.
It is. That's schools, it's public parks, it's public housing areas. And again, it's automatically a felony. It's automatically punishable by double the incarceration, double the fine to be paid. And again, 50% of that sentence is mandatory behind bars. I don't know if 50% of that fine is mandatory. I'm going to guess 100% of that fine is mandatory. But, there you have it. That's the school zone laws in Oklahoma. We'd like to see a touch of reform there on, the possession end of this. But it's serious, and they mean business.
Yes, they do.
And you're going to do a fair amount of mandatory years behind bars in Oklahoma for that offense. For a more comprehensive look at the cannabis laws in Oklahoma, please visit us at cnation.com and click on the state-by-state link.
Remember, you have rights if you're arrested for any cannabis-related reasons. You have the constitutional right to remain silent until your attorney is present. If you don't have an attorney, better ask for one.
Holla!
This is Zen.
And Julie.
And John.
With C Nation bringing you a snapshot of the cannabis laws in Oklahoma. Be safe.
Stay informed!
Yeah, what they said. The 50 Days of Cannabis podcast is a copyrighted production of the South American Gold Corporation.
We appreciate your likes and shares on social media.
Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at C Nation Channel.